audience, is there any comments or questions to our finance director or Mrs. DeSorbo or town attorney or board?
I have one.
If you just give your name.
Yes, Gene Rocco, 74 Bennett Road. When was the last time we actually spent East Haven dollars paving roads? I just heard you say that we get some state money for paving. When was the last time we actually spent East Haven dollars?
As a matter of fact, in the capital plan of the current year, 0708, does have East Haven dollars for...
No, when was the last time we actually paved, not what's coming up? When was the last time we actually paved the road with East Haven dollars?
Last fiscal year.
Oh, we did?
Oh, yeah.
We spend some town money every year.
Every year.
On reconstruction.
Yeah. And there's some money in the current year capital program, 0708, the current fiscal year, for paving.
Now, when we do that, we don't use the asphalt equipment that we have down at Public Works?
Sometimes we do.
When was the last time that equipment was used?
Couldn't answer that question. I'd have to refer that to the town engineer. But I know they, as a matter of fact, I remember them using it in fall. Usually smaller jobs, because obviously Tilcon Tomaso comes in with their, that's what they do.
No, I
That's
know
why
that.
we utilize
I'm
it.
just
We've been
wondering.
using our crews primarily to do drainage work. The policy has been not to pave a road when there's the need to do drainage. You're just throwing your money away. So our guys have been quite active the last 3 seasons in actually doing drainage.
So when it comes to paving, we go to Tilcon.
Sometimes we do it, but it really for cost effectiveness and keeping our guys going on the drainage issues. You could have drainage work from now until we're all retired. So there's always drainage work that needs to be done.
I just know when that equipment was purchased, it was used kind of extensively to do our own streets.
So what it was used for is skim coating, and that's what we don't do. Skim coating, it doesn't last. Looks good for a year, maybe 2 if you're lucky, but once the weather gets at it, it starts to pick up. And you just really, on a long-term basis, you're wasting money when you skim coat.
And I wasn't sure if it was skim coating. I thought they were using it to do the proper job, just as
We don't have the equipment to reclaim, grind up, and which is the right way to do it when you're doing a road, and it turns out to be a new road. We don't have that equipment. We have a paving box, a small paving box. But that would just allow us to, you basically sweep the street, throw down some tack, and then pave over it, which is like peanut butter on bread. You know, and it doesn't last.
Do we have to?
What we're going to do, whether it be paving only, paving, milling and paving, or drainage, milling and
But
paving.
we also have to authorize bonding for it to be eligible for LoSiP. Right?
No.
No?
No.
You don't need bonding if it's
No,
coming from the
no,
state.
but you have to tell them specifically, prior to you doing it, what you're going to do to, whether we're going to repair a bridge or a road or do drainage or whatever public project we're going to do. You have to tell them ahead, give them an estimated cost of that project, send it up to OPM, then they in turn send you back a letter of approval, then you can start the project. And then say, you know, you run over a little bit, or over, you would have to utilize either local money or unspent monies, unallocated money out of LoSiP grant. But you have to tell them that in advance also. Or if your project's over and say you estimated the cost to be $45,000, only came in at 40, once you tell them the 40, that $5,000 would be available for another capital project.
We have an accounting over the last 5 years of how much money we've actually spent from East Haven taxpayer money on roads.
We have to go back and look into the capital program and see how much money was allocated for road and street repair. But yes, is I guess a simple answer.
Just I want to bring up another point, which is, I think, important. Every time the town accepts a new development, the roads are finally accepted, that has to be reported to the state, because that goes into our road aid fund. So
It's based on mileage.
it's based on the number of miles we have, so it increases. But it's important that these things are updated.
$1 million, are we gonna recoup any of this, or no? This is strictly what we're...
Further comments?
Oh, excuse me. I have a couple
Can
of
you
questions.
state your name for?
Vincent A. Cameron, 43 Forbes Place, East Haven, Connecticut.
Thank you.
Now this here, this $1 million is just from us. It has nothing to do with the state. The state's not paying any of this.
It's not a pen.
How much are we getting from the state?
Currently under LoCIP, about $250,000. And that number's been about the same over the last 3-4 years.
So now we're gonna bond $1 million over the 250,000?
And also, we do have some money in the capital program, which was an earlier bonding authorization, which was approved by the Board of Finance and the Council.
The other question I have, many of the streets that I drive on personally, I know you would need a stack about this high of tickets. If you go down French Avenue, you lose your car. If you go, my son lives on Viking Street, you'll lose your car. There's so many of them. I mean, over the years now, how many of these lists have we made? I mean, I know you
We
talk
made-
about A, B, and C.
We make a list at least once a year, sometimes twice a year. And I guess the best way to put it is, as problems arise, sometimes you get a lot of water damage for whatever reason during the winter and the spring, and the pavement gets lifted and so forth, and you may have a street that was a minor problem earlier becoming a major problem, and that's kind of like how I started with, some of these streets have been on in the B lot, if you want to call it, for a long time. There are also a number of other streets that are Cs, and you're always getting additional streets put in because, they're out there in the weather, and as things happen.
No, as Art stated, in our lifetime or our retirement, are the Cs ever going to get taken care of?
Hopefully, yeah.
Because
Will they work their way up to be Bs and As
maybe,
eventually?
yeah, if they can make it to the A and B division.
Well, the A list it seems like the A list is always getting longer. And sometimes, and that's why some of these, that was kind of the premise on why you're going to do it. There were Bs that have been Bs for 3 years.
I know, to go back to what Gene said, that's one of the original reasons I thought we had our own equipment.
Our
Because at
equipment
least-
can't do this job.
Well, not
No.
totally prevent, if you
Hold
can
on.
prevent some holes,
Right.
because you got some
That's-
major problems if you drive around the city, the town.
I think some of the problem in my discussion with the town engineer, because I kind of said the same thing. I said, are these all major jobs?
Yeah.
He said, not some of the, the smaller jobs. But there's if you looked at the cost of doing the paving with our equipment versus the cost of having Tilcon come in, it's to be honest, a waste of taxpayer
It could be a
dollars
wash,
to
yes.
do
I understand.
not even a wash.
Right.
It's a big loss to do it ourselves because of the manpower that you have to get in there to do it, and the time involved that it would take to pave, a road, one of these roads, a smaller, 400 or 500 foot road, versus Tilcon coming in and getting that done in, the morning.
And the other question that I have, I know, seeing it's our money, it's our $1 million, how come we don't go out to bid? Because it would make sense to me, I mean, Tilcon, maybe they
Well,
give you a
this is
bottom
off
line.
the state bid list. It isn't
It's been
necessarily
bid.
Tilcon, but
It
they're
has
bid.
been bid?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They're- It's not necessarily Tilcon, but they generally are the main.
Tilcon, O&G,
The state takes the
they're the
bid.
major contractors that you see paving on the highway.
Mhm.
Same guys will be here, or the same company,
Thank
maybe
you.
the same crew.
Thank you.
Any further comments from the audience? If not, back to the table. Move the question then to the town council for further action. Roll call, please.
Al Pagani,
Yes.
Charles Legel,
Aye.
Rich Pagano.
Well, even though I'm always a strong advocate of town improvements, and I know our roads desperately need this repair, just the timing of this, I'm gonna vote no.
Paul Kabowski.
The chair votes yes. Motion, any further business of the special meeting? None? Motion to adjourn?
So,
So moved. Adjourned.